What happened in the final moments of last night's game between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies was something that nobody in that stadium will forget for a very long time. The moment the ninth inning came to a close, the baseball field transformed into something completely unrecognizable. A massive and shocking brawl erupted with an intensity that left everyone in attendance frozen in disbelief. But the most disturbing and heartbreaking part of the entire incident was what happened to Shohei Ohtani. The Japanese superstar, who is arguably the most valuable and beloved player in all of baseball, was brutally targeted and hit by several Rockies players in a scene that sent shockwaves across the entire sporting world. How did this happen? Why did Rockies players go after Ohtani specifically? And what is the condition of the biggest star in baseball right now? When the ninth inning began, the tension inside the stadium was already at an almost unbearable level. The Dodgers and the Rockies had been battling fiercely throughout the entire game, and emotions on both sides were running extremely high. Players in both dugouts were visibly on edge, and those who were watching closely could sense that something was about to boil over. Nobody, however, could have predicted just how explosive and violent the situation would become in a matter of seconds once that final out was recorded. The question that every single fan, analyst, and reporter is asking today is the same. Why did this happen to Ohtani? Of all the players on that field, why was the most recognizable and celebrated athlete in the sport singled out and targeted in such a brutal and shocking manner? What was the trigger that caused several grown professional athletes to direct their aggression specifically toward one man? And most critically, what does this mean for the Dodgers going forward as they continue their push through one of the most important stretches of their season? Sources who were present at the scene described the atmosphere inside the stadium as explosive the moment the brawl broke out. According to eyewitnesses seated near the field, the incident began almost immediately after the final out of the ninth inning was recorded. What started as a verbal exchange between players from both sides rapidly and violently escalated into a full-scale confrontation on the field. Within seconds, players from both dugouts and bullpens were sprinting onto the field, and the scene quickly descended into complete chaos. Those who witnessed the incident firsthand described it as one of the most intense and frightening brawls they had ever seen on a professional baseball field. But what made this particular confrontation different from any ordinary on-field altercation was the specific and deliberate manner in which several Rockies players appeared to direct their aggression toward Shohei Ohtani. Multiple witnesses confirmed that Ohtani was hit not once, not twice, but several times during the chaotic moments that followed the end of the ninth inning. The sight of the Dodgers' most important player being struck repeatedly left fans in the stands screaming and horrified. Insiders familiar with the situation revealed that tensions between the two teams had been quietly building for several days leading up to this game. There had reportedly been growing frustration on the Rockies' side stemming from a combination of competitive pressures and specific incidents earlier in the series that had rubbed several Colorado players the wrong way. Those close to the situation say that Ohtani had become something of a focal point for that frustration, though nobody could have anticipated that it would manifest itself in such a shocking and violent way. Manager Dave Roberts rushed onto the field the moment the brawl erupted, and those who saw him described his expression as one of pure alarm and disbelief. His immediate priority was not the game, not the outcome, and not any strategic consideration. His only thought in that moment was the safety and well-being of his players, and most urgently, the condition of Shohei Ohtani. Roberts was seen pushing through the chaos to reach Ohtani, and the images of the Dodgers manager desperately trying to get to his star player quickly became some of the most circulated images on social media in the hours that followed. After the incident, Roberts spoke to reporters with a controlled but visibly shaken demeanor. He said that what happened on that field tonight was completely unacceptable and went far beyond anything that can be justified in the context of competitive baseball. Roberts stated that he has been in this game for a very long time and has seen his fair share of on-field confrontations, but what happened to Ohtani tonight was something on a completely different level. He made it absolutely clear that the Dodgers organization would be filing a formal complaint with the league and demanding that the appropriate disciplinary measures be taken against every individual involved in the attack on their player. Roberts confirmed that Ohtani had been examined by the team's medical staff immediately following the incident. He said that while the full extent of any potential injuries would not be known until further evaluation was completed, the initial assessment gave the organization some cautious relief. However, Roberts was very careful not to make any premature statements about Ohtani's availability for upcoming games, emphasizing that the health and safety of his player came before any baseball-related considerations. Freddie Freeman was one of the first Dodgers players to reach Ohtani during the Brawl, and he did not hide his anger when he addressed reporters afterward. Freeman said that the moment he saw what was happening to Ohtani, every instinct he had as a teammate took over completely. He said that you do not stand by and watch a brother get attacked without doing everything in your power to protect him. Freeman's voice was thick with emotion as he described the scene, and it was clear that the incident had shaken him deeply on a personal level far beyond the competitive nature of the sport. Freeman said that the whole team is furious about what happened and that this is not something that any of them will simply move on from and forget. He said that Ohtani is not just a teammate. He is someone that every single person in that clubhouse genuinely cares about as a human being, and to see him targeted and hit the way he was tonight was something that none of them will accept lying down. Freeman made it very clear that the Dodgers intend to channel their anger into their performance on the field in the games ahead. Mookie Betts, who was also involved in trying to protect Ohtani during the Brawl, spoke briefly but powerfully to reporters. He said that what happened tonight crossed a line that should never be crossed in this sport. Betts said that baseball is a competitive game and emotions run high, but there is a fundamental code of respect that every professional player is expected to honor, and that code was violated in a serious and undeniable way tonight. He said that the entire team stood together in full support of Ohtani and that they would make sure their response was felt in every remaining game of this series. The MLB Commissioner's office released an urgent statement confirming that the league was fully aware of the Brawl and was conducting an immediate and thorough review of all available footage from the incident. Officials stated that the league takes situations of this nature with the utmost seriousness and that any player found to have acted in a manner inconsistent with the standards of professional conduct would face appropriate disciplinary action. The statement also confirmed that ejections had been issued during the game itself, but that further suspensions and fines could follow depending on the outcome of the league's review. Former players and analysts who appeared on sports networks throughout the night were nearly unanimous in their condemnation of what had happened to Ohtani. Several veteran commentators described the incident as deeply troubling and called for swift and serious consequences for those responsible. Many pointed out that Ohtani represents not just the Dodgers or American baseball, but the sport of baseball itself on a global stage, and that an attack on him carried implications far beyond a single game or a single season. Fans across social media reacted with a mixture of outrage, concern, and passionate support for Ohtani. Messages of support poured in from across the United States, Japan, and dozens of other countries around the world. The hashtag supporting Ohtani trended globally within hours of the incident, with millions of fans expressing their anger at what had happened and their prayers for his swift and complete recovery. Many fans called for lifetime bans for the players involved, while others simply sent heartfelt messages of love and support to their favorite player. Late in the night, as the stadium emptied and the dust began to settle on one of the most disturbing evenings in recent baseball memory, a brief update was shared by those close to Ohtani. Sources confirmed that the Japanese superstar had remained composed and dignified throughout the entire ordeal. Despite the physical pain and the emotional weight of what had happened, Ohtani reportedly refused to show any sign of weakness or despair in front of his teammates. Those who were with him in the aftermath described a man who was quietly determined and completely focused on what comes next. Sources say that Ohtani's message to his teammates was simple and powerful. He told them to stay focused, stay together, and let their performance on the field speak louder than any brawl or any controversy ever could. His teammates listened, and every single one of them walked out of that stadium more motivated and more united than they had been going in. The baseball world will be watching every development in the days ahead very closely. But if there is one thing that everyone who knows Shohei Ohtani understands deeply, it is this. You do not knock this man down without him coming back stronger than ever before. Thank you for watching. What is your reaction to this shocking incident? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates and breaking news from the world of baseball.